Hello friends, welcome to my channel MITUSIR'S classes. Now I am going to discuss about Indian history, factor promoting the growth of nationalism. Factor promoting the growth of nationalisms. First point, political unity. What is political unit? Political unit. In the first time, most of the regions in India were united politically. In the first time, most of the regions in India are united politically and administratively, under a single power, politically and administratively under a single power. This power is known as British rule. वो पावर क्या होता है ना, ब्रिटिश रूल होता है. It introduced in uniform system of law and government. It introduced the uniform system law and government. यह क्या करता है ना, यूनिफॉर्म सिस्टम ऑफ लॉ एंड गवर्नमेंट को इंट्रोड्यूस करता है. In the first time, most of the regions in India were united politically and administratively under a single power. This power is called the British rule. It introduced a uniform system of law and government. Second point, development of communication and transport. The introductions of railway, telegraph, postal service. Introductions of railway, telegraph and postal services, and the constructions of road and canals facilitated the communication among the people. The introductions of railway, telegraph, postal services and the constructions of roads and canals facilitated the communication among the peoples. Next, all these brought Indians nearer to each other. And provided this facility and to organize the national movement. On all Indian bases. This facility, railway, telegraph, postal communications, constructions of road, canals, these provided the national movement of the India begins. Third, English language and Western education. The English language plays an important role in the growth. English language plays an important role in the growth of this national movement of nationalism in the country, or national movement or nationalism in the country. The English language plays an important role in the growth of the national movement or nationalism in the country. Second, the English educated Indians who led the national movement. The English educated Indians who led the English national movements developed Indian nationalisms and organized. Next, the Western education facilitated the spread of the concept of liberty. The Western education facilitated the concept of the spread of the liberty. Next, the equality, freedom and nationalism. The equality, freedom and nationalisms, and show the seed of the nationalism. The equality, freedom and nationalism, and show the seed of the nationalisms. Next, the rule of the press. The Indian press, both English and adventures. The Indian press, both English and the adventures, had also urged the national consciousness. Next, social and religious movement. Religious movement. The leader of various organizations. the leader of the various organizations like Brahma Samaj, Ramakrishna missions, Arya Samaj, Theosophical Society generated a feeling of regards, pride the motherland. The leaders of the various organizations like Brahma Samaj, Ramakrishna missions, Arya Samaj, Theosophical Society generated the feeling in regards for the pride of in the motherland, in the motherland. Next, economic exploitations by the British. A good deals of anti-British. A good deals of anti-British feeling was created. A good deal of anti-British feeling was created by the economic policy pursued by the British government in India. A good deal of anti-defection feelings was created by the economic policy pursued by the British government in India. Next, the English systematical ruined the Indian trade. Trades and native industries. वो सब बंद कर सकता है. The economic exploitations by the British was one of the most important cause for the rise of Indian nationalisms. The economic exploitations by the British was one of the most important cause of the rise of Indian nationalisms. Next, administrations of Lytton. Lord Lytton arranged the Delhi Darbar. At the time in 877. Lord Lytton arranged the Delhi Darbar at the time of 877. When large part of the Indian was in the grip of famine. Next, he passed the vernacular pressure. Lord Lytton passed the vernacular pressure, which cropped the liberty of the Indian press. Next, his Lord Lytton's armor was means to prevent the Indians from keeping arms. Next, all these measures created widespread discontent among the Indians. All these measures created and widespread the discontent among the Indians. Next, racial discriminations. The revolt of 857 created a kind of permanent bitterness and suspicions between British and the Indians. The revolt of 857, a kind of permanent settlements or bitterness of the suspicions between the British and the Indians. The English feeling of racial superior grew. The English feeling was the racial superiority of the grew. Next, India as a nation and Indians as individuals. India is a nation and Indians as individuals. We are subjected insult, humiliation and subject to insult, humiliations and contemptuous treatment. Next, the Ilbert Bill's controversy. The Ilbert Bills was presented in the central legislature. The Ilbert Bills was presented in the central legislature during the viceroy of Lord Ripon. The bill tries to remove racial inequality. The bills try to remove inequality, racials between Indian and European judge in the court. Indians and European judge in the court. The bill try to remove. This bill try to remove racial inequality between the Indians and European judges in the court. Indians and European judges in the court. Next, this bill was opposed by the British residents. This bill was opposed by the British residents. Thus, in India, ultimately the bill was modified. This bill was opposed by the British residents. This bill was opposed by the British residents in India. Ultimately, the bill was modified. Ultimately, the bill was modified. Thanks all of you. Please share, subscribe and click the bell icon. Thank you.